Good morning, my beautiful students. How are you today? I hope that you are pretty fine. Okay, let's start with our next class for today, Thursday. Oh my goodness, almost Children's Day, Thursday, 29th of April, 2021. And what we are going to be learning and doing today, it's a kind of interesting because you are going to be facing different situations. I cannot wait to teach you this. Well, maybe you already know all these topics, but if you don't worry, we are going to be learning and practicing them. And if you do, you are going to be reviewing. It is going to be cool for you. So welcome to this class, Thursday, 29th April 2021. Hey. I just want to say hello before to continue. Remember that if you have any question, any situation, I can be helping you. Just let me know and I will be there. Okay, so let's start with the topics that we have for today. Well, during our last class, we were talking about modal verbs. Do you remember? We were talking about can, could, should, will. Will is for future, spontaneous decision or predictions. Okay, and today we are going to start with some other things that I have here. Okay, remember that can is going to be for ability, permission, or probability, but in an informal way. And cool is going to be when you want to talk about your past abilities or past permissions, probability, requesting something in a formal way, okay? So should is going to be used for advices and will is going to be used for predictions or for spontaneous decisions that we are going to be having or making in the future. And also we were talking about must, talking about prohibition and deduction or probability. But I remember that we were saying that must is going to be for obligation or duties. For example, you must wear a seatbelt when you drive. It is your obligation, it is your duty to be wearing a seatbelt when or while you are driving, okay? Remember that modal verbs are going to be some specific verbs that are going to be having like a special thread here in English, okay? They are not like the common verbs that we are going to be having. No, they are special, more special because they are having like a special way to during all these topics, okay? So must, should, will, and the other modal verbs are going to be following some specific rules. In this case, must is going to be a tiny word that is going to be helping us in order to talk about obligations or duties that we do or we have. You must wear a seatbelt when you drive. Ooh. You must eat all your vegetables. I'm not asking you, I'm just telling you, okay, that you must, you have to, you need to do that, you must do this, okay? Also, yes, we are going to be using must for obligations or duties, but also we are going to be using this tiny word for deductions. I mean, for certain something is true. For example, look at all that snow. It must be cold outside. Oh, you are deducting something, okay? I heard a noise upstairs. Mary must be home. Oh, you are deducting something. Oh, I heard the phone. Somebody must answer. That is a deduction, something that you think that will happen, okay, as an obligation maybe. So those are going to be some examples of deduction. It must be cold outside. Mary must be home. Somebody must answer the phone. Ooh, you are certain of something is truth. Okay, this is when we use must for deduction. Also, we are going to be using must when we want to emphasize necessity. Necessity, yes, indeed. We are going to be having this kind of examples. Plants must have light and water to grow. You must study if you want good grade. You must eat all your vegetables if you want to grow super tall. You are emphasizing why we have to do something or what we need to do. Okay, you must wash your hands if you want to avoid COVID. Okay, your sister must practice if she wants to be a good singer. Okay, those are going to be some examples of emphasizing necessity. Also, it is going to be used when we talk about recommendations. When you want to give a strong recommendation. For example, we must get together for dinner soon. Excellent. Oh, these cupcakes are yummy. You must try one, okay? That is a super recommendation. Hey. Or, oh, you must do more exercise. You need it. Oh, remember that you must drink 2 liters of water each day or per day. Oh, those are strong recommendations. You must stop smoking or you will have some troubles. That is how we are going to be using this for a strong recommendation. Remember, strong recommendation when you are going to be recommending something in a very, very, very special way. Oh, you must pay attention to your classes. If not, you will not learn. Ah! Oh my goodness, that is a strong recommendation. You must wake up early if you don't want to miss the bus. Ah, that is a strong recommendation that you are giving. It is not like you should, because remember that should is super cute, super nice. Not in this case, this is going to be a stronger recommendation that you are going to be giving with must. Also, we are going to be using must for positive assumptions, but in past. With your past participle, not in present, not in simple past. It has to be in past participle. I mean with the verb have. Okay, that must have been my mother calling me while I was in my meeting. No one else has my private number, my phone number. Oh, that must have been my brother watering the plants, because no one else loves the plants as he does. Ooh, positive assumptions. You are thinking, oh, that must have been my sister. Oh, that must have been my husband. That is I don't know, fixing the car. No, that is a like positive assumption. I mean, you are saying that you think, you believe, you know who was the person who was doing that exercise or that situation. Okay, that is going to be the positive assumption. We are not going to be using must plus some verbs. For example, he must, no. She must wait, no. Forget about the letter S, forget about the word to. We are not going to be using it. using them here with our verb must, it is going to be pretty normal, pretty sure, pretty nice. He must go out. No, he must, or he must to go. No, or he must goes. No, 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 no. Normal, he must stop. She mustn't stop, okay? That's it. We no is, no to, please, rest about that. Must and must not. We are going to be using must not when it is important that you do not something. Why? Because it is prohibited or it is not allowed, okay? That's when you are going to be making use of must. You mustn't use your phone while you are driving. You mustn't speak while you are eating. You mustn't, I don't know, touch the light because you can die. No, that is going to be must or mustn't. ¿Qué tan fácil está? Tell me. Must or mustn't? Remember, obligations, deductions, emphasizing something, recommendations and assumptions, but in a strong way. Okay, this is like the other side of should, that should is a lot on this, and must is going to be more strict. Okay, that is going to be the difference. But also we are going to be having this may and might. But before to continue with this, let me tell you, do you have any question with this? Well, remember, please, if you have any question, any situation with the topics, let me know and I'm going to be helping you. Let me know if you are learning, if you are understanding what am I trying to explain, if you need extra activities and so on. Please, don't worry. The most important is that you can be learning these different situations that we have in the language. Well, after that we were learning about must, we are going to continue with these other modal verbs that we are going to be may or might. Oh my goodness! One day is it going to be ending? Yes, I promise. These are the last two modal verbs that we have, and you're free of modal verbs. Sorry, but it is important that you know this. So may and might. When we are going to be using may and when we are going to be using might. Okay, we are going to be making use of may and might when we are going to talk about possibilities. Yes, it might rain later, so take an umbrella. Or when you are giving some permissions, you may have another cookie if you like. Or if you want to ask for permission, may I borrow your pen, please? If you want to give permission, or if you are going to ask for permission, may I borrow your pen, please? Also, you are going to be making use of may and might when you are going to be expressing some wishes. For example, may the new year bring you happiness. That's cute. You are expressing some wishes. Also, if you want to speculate about past actions, yes, indeed. For example, she's late. She may have missed her plane. Oh, she is sick. She may have eaten something bad. No, that is how we are going to be using may and might. But when can I use may? When can I use may and when can I use might? What is the difference? Let me tell you that may and might cannot normally be interchanged without a significant difference in meaning. However, might implies like a smaller chance of something happening, okay? Might can often imply a smaller chance of something happening. Well, I mean, when expressing possibility, okay, when you are going to be talking about possibility and you think that there is a chance that something is going to be happening, well, that's when you are going to be using might instead of may. For example, it may rain, 70% of chance or opportunity. It might rain. 40% of chance. Okay, so might it's like lower than may. That is going to be how we are going to be using it. When we try to express wishes or when we try to give some permissions, only may is used. That is one of the other differences. Wishes or giving permission, you may use, you need to use may, okay? Only may when you are expressing wishes or permissions. And remember that may is, it's bigger or is higher than might. So when are we going to be using our modal verbs may and might? Well, may is going to be when you talk about possibilities, but in a higher, it's going to be a higher possibility, okay? Or might also for possibilities, but when it is like a lower possibility. She may be at home. Higher possibility, okay? Casi segura, segura estás. Might, he might like playing basketball. You are not super sure if he likes to play basketball. It's like, I believe, I think in my heart, in my mind, that could be a good option, play basketball, no? So maybe that's the difference because she's stronger, it is stronger, he's stronger, and might is going to be less stronger than the rest of them. Okay, also we are going to be using modal verbs, these two modal verbs, when we talk about permission, when you want to ask for permissions, or you are going to be using might for permissions, but in a more formal way. For example, may I sit here? You are asking for the permission in a general way. Might I ask you a question? Oh my goodness, you are asking for permission, but in a more formal way. Might I ask you a question? ¿Te puedo hacer una pregunta? ¿Podría realizarte una pregunta? That is how we are going to be using may and where we are going to be using might. Also, we are going to be making use of may when we are going to be giving some permissions. Remember, ask and give permissions. Ask and give permissions. The modal verb may. Okay, so permissions. Yes, you may go. Sí, deberías ir. Excellent. Or for suggestions, might. Politely, you might try my cheesecake. Deberías probar mi pastel. What do you think? How do you feel? Easy or difficult? Kind of, right? Kind of. So these are going to be the difference between must, that is like obligations, that is deductions, emphasizing necessities, strong recommendations or assumptions in past participle. And may or might are going to be pretty similar. May or might are almost the same. The difference is that might has less possibility. Okay, a lower possibility of something can happen, and may is going to be showing a higher possibility that something could be happening. Okay, that is the difference. And remember that for possibilities, both, but with higher possibility may, with lower possibility might. Asking for permissions, yes indeed, may. or might, but more is going to be more formal. Even for permissions, well, only when you are going to be giving permission, you can say may. Yes, you may go, but in English, permissions, not a lot with this. But yes, indeed, we can make suggestions politely. You might try to my cheesecake. It's a suggestion that you are having, but in a very formal suggestion. Be request, request. You are going to be using, yes, indeed, may or might in our requests, but we are going to use may in a request like this. May I have the bill, please? Or request with might I borrow your book? It is going to be more formal, okay? Requesting something may informal, might more formal, okay? And for wishes also we are going to be making use of may. Only may. Wishes with might? No, never ever in the life. For example, with a wish with may you both be very happy. Cutie, may you both be very happy. It's a wish, may you both be very happy. Que sean muy felices ambos. Or you can be using wish for conditionals. We are going to be using it, might for conditionals. If you worked hard, you might finish it. That is going to be for conditionals. So, may or might, modal verbs. Let me tell you that you are going to be sharing together these ones. No se ve. No se ve, sí se ve. Ya se ve. Bien. Se dejó de ver en mi pantalla, pero creo que aquí ya. Excelente, ya. Ok, algo pasó aquí, perdónenme. Que no se veía. Ya, lo reiniciamos. Ok, so, conditionals. If you work hard, you might finish it. Si trabajas duro, lo terminarás. ¿No? Si trabajaras duro, lo terminarías. So, they are going to be sharing this possibility, let me circle, possibility and possibility together. Permission and permissions, okay? Requesting and requesting. But the difference is that with may and might is that might is more formal, okay? Might is not going to be giving talk about giving permissions, but may is going to be talking about giving permissions. And with may, we are going to be having some wishes, but with might, that is not possible. We are going to focus on conditionals. That's where we are going to be using this. Okay, may or might. We were talking when we are going to be using may and might, and we were saying that might is has like a lower possibility of something could happening, and may is going to be higher, having a higher possibility of something could happen. Okay, when we are going to be expressing wishes or giving permissions, remember may is going to be our first option. And also may not can be used to say or in order not to give permissions or to prohibit someone from doing something. Like an example, you may not take photos inside this museum. Ooh, you are saying that no to something. That those are going to be one of the differences that they are going to be facing. Okay. How we are going to be using this? May or might. Okay, may or might are going to be used as the same. I, you, she, he, it, we, and they might. You might go, okay? Forget about the to. With modal verbs, we are not going to be using to. You might go. She might know. And forget about the letter S. We are not going to be having our letter S anymore in life, okay? when we use may and might one more time in order to express possibilities. These two modal verbs are going to be used when you want to talk about possibilities. Okay, you want to talk about possibilities, we are going to be using may or might. But remember the differences, okay? There is a chance of something being true or not true, or of something happening, okay? So may or might are going to be in order to express possibilities. There is a chance of something being true or of something happening. Those are going to be some sentences that we are going to be having in order to practice with may or might, okay? Take an umbrella. It might rain later. It is sure, but not super sure. Something being true of this could be, it may rain later. It might rain later. It may rain later. What do you think? Or for example, I think she may, with the singing competition, they might be able because the bus strike. Those are going to be some examples of we are talking, okay? And may or might are used also to speculate about past actions. Something was possible in the past, but we are not sure, okay? That's when we are going to be using it this. Your comment may have offended some people, but we never know, we will never know. She's not here. She might have gone to the supermarket. It's a possibility, but in a low opportunity possibility. What was the kind nose outside? I think it was have been a cat. ¿Cuál fue ese tipo de ruido que hizo afuera? Ay, creo que ha de haber sido el gato. That's how we are going to be using may or might, okay? Easy or difficult after a lot of... Excellent, that's easy. More or less, more or less. Little by little, poco a poquito, más o menos, más o menos. Excellent. So, may and might, okay? May and might express possibilities, or that there is a chance or opportunity that something being true or something could be happening, or also when you are going to be speculating about past actions, okay? Something was possible in the past, but we are not sure. Okay, that's when we are going to be using may. Your comment may have offended some people. She's not here. She might have gone to the market. Oh, what was that noise outside? I think it may have been a cat. Ooh, you are speculating about objects in the classroom, or objects that were happening, or about some situations that were happening in the past. Okay, you are speculating about past actions. Cool. For example, here, may, might, and could. We are going to be comparing. We use may, might, and could in order to say something that is possible. I may or I may not be true. It may or it might not be true. Okay, it. Or also, if you want to talk about past possibility, we add have plus past participle. I may have seen him. Debería haberlo visto. Could is going to be similar, but couldn't is it has a different form, and from may not and might not, okay? Could is similar, but couldn't is different from may not and might not. Ese couldn't ya no entra en los negativos junto con may or might. It is a strange story, but it could be true. It's an strange story, but that could be true. Excellent. So, in order to finish, must or have to is for obligation. You must do your homework. You have to do your homework. Mustn't is for prohibitions. Okay, you cannot do something. I don't have to or I don't have to. It's a lack of obligation. Okay, it is not necessary that you do it. I'm sure is going to be for advices. Excellent. Should is going to be for advices. We are learning all this must, have to, must. And remember, may or might are going to be for possibilities that we are going to be having. Okay, here we have some modal verbs. Must is 90 till 100% that is super sure, something that is super sure. For example, she must be in the garden. I'm sure she is in the garden. They must know each other. I'm pretty sure that we know each other. Mi esposo y yo nos conocemos muy bien. That is must, okay? 90 to 100 sure. It's truth, but can it's 90 to 100 sure? Not that it is not true. Okay, she can't be his mother. She's too young. I'm sure she's not his mother. You are telling us that, okay? Because you can say, I speak English in a very good way. Yes, but what are we going to do with all these? Tell me, excellent. Must be. What other? They must know. Excellent. So can 90 to 10%, 100% that you are sure that it is not true. He's just left. He can't be too far. It is not possible. It is something that it is possible. No, he has to be here. He cannot be late. Él tiene que estar aquí, no puede llegar tarde. Why? You are super sure that that's not true, okay? Now, remember, may and might not are going to be 30 to 50%. That is true. He may or might be dead. Tendrán que haber estado muertos. It's a super. So you are not sure about that. 30 to 50% maybe not true. He may or might not will remember who you are. Okay, might not remember who you are. No recordará cuando te ves de 30 a 50%. He might not who you are. De todo este porcentaje, justo él no me reconoce. ¿Sale? 30 to 50% it's when you are not sure, it's not true. May or might. And also we are going to be using can't when we don't want to prohibit something because you already have it here. Okay, can. He just left. He mustn't be too late. He's just left. He can't be too far. He isn't here. He might be at home. Él no está ahí, debe estar en la casa. Okay, he's just left. He can't be too far. Okay. Be plus ing verb. Remember that it is going to speculate about actions in progress. Okay, this is not sure. You are speculating. For example, they are in Inisa. They must be having a great time. Deben estar teniendo un gran tiempo. No, you are always hungry. I think what? You should buy enough protein, okay? You are always hungry. I think that you should, that you might not be eating something. That could be an example. Also, new study suggests that air pollution but maybe making people unhappy. Yeah, speculating about actions in progress, okay? Those are going to be the conditionals. What do you think about them? ¿Cómo los ves? ¿Qué opinas? Those are the modal verbs. Those are the famous modal verbs are how we are going to be using them. Maybe it's a kind of complicated for a little bit because you can say, oh my goodness, what are these? Well, remember, I'm going to go back for a moment, no? We already know can, could, should, and will, that are super easy, I believe. Must is going to be for obligations. It's something more strong, no? And may or might are pretty similar, but the situation is that may is more possible and might is less possible that something could be happening. You are going to be using may and might for possibilities, permissions, suggestions, requesting, wishing something, and for conditionals. Okay. But we are going to be having some specific situations. We can be having may, might, and could. Could be here, but you need to understand the context. Could is similar, but couldn't is different from may not and might not. Okay, must or have to. Mustn't, don't have to, I don't have to do that. No tengo que hacer esto. I have to clean my house. Tengo que limpiar mi casa, or must, okay? And this is what we were explaining. Must is 90 to 100% that you are sure it's true, that something that you are saying it's true. She must be in the garden because I'm pretty sure she's in the garden. They must know each other. Yes, they know each other because they are married, no? For example. Can't is when it's the opposite. Must is 100% sure it is true, and can't is almost 100% it is not true. She can be his mother, she's too young. No puede ser, su mamá es demasiado joven. I'm sure she's not his mother. Okay, he's just left. He can't be too far. Se acaba de ir, no puede ir muy lejos. I'm super sure that something that is happening is not true. Okay, and remember, may and might, or may not, or might not, it's when you are almost sure, okay, 30 to 50 that it could be true, no? He may or he might be dead. Puede estar muerto, pero no sé si sí o si no. Es como 50-50. Puede que viva, puede que muera, ¿no? Or 30 to 50% that can, maybe it is not true. He may or he might not remember who you are. Maybe he does not remember. Maybe he does remember. Oh, él no puede recordar quién eres, no podría recordar quién eres. A lo mejor y sí, a lo mejor y no. Es como de un 30-50 de posibilidad. Must, 90 o 100% de que está seguro de que algo es verdad. El can't, como verbo modal, es un 90-100% seguro de que tú sabes que no es verdad. Estás súper seguro de que no es verdad. El must es muy seguro de que sí es verdad. Can't, de que no es verdad. May or might not. Estás 30-50%, estás más o menos seguro que sí puede ser verdad, o 50% seguro de que a lo mejor no es verdad. That is how we are going to be using this one. Así es como los vamos a estar usando. También el can't, acuérdate todos los usos que tiene. He's just left. He can't be too far. Él no puede estar muy lejos. Sale must, no lo vamos a utilizar para negar. Ahí. porque acuérdate que must es sobre todo para obligaciones o cuestiones un poco más fuertes. Si tú dices, he mustn't be too far, no debe estar muy lejos, lo estás haciendo como tipo obligación. El can't es cierta improbabilidad que tienes, ¿no? De que no puede estar muy lejos o no puede ir tan rápido. Y si pongo el must, es no puede ir tan rápido, de que lo estás prohibiendo. Esa es la diferencia. Tú dices, significa lo mismo, pero en contexto ya van a significar diferentes cositas. Esa es la cuestión, ¿no? Y no vamos a usar may or might cuando tengamos, no vamos a usar can en ciertas cuestiones como aquí cuando tengamos may or might. Por ejemplo, he isn't here, he can be at home. Él no está aquí, él puede estar en la casa. Es una, algo que puede, una habilidad. Aquí estás hablando de que él puede estar en la casa, pero de que puede, porque es la habilidad que tiene. En contexto estaría mal. Nos quedaría mejor. He isn't here. He might be at home. Él no está aquí. Él puede estar en su casa, pero ese puede, can, y ese puede, might, son cuestiones bien diferentes. Porque si digo, he can be at home, él puede estar en la casa, estoy diciendo que él puede, que él tiene la habilidad, ¿no? De hacerlo. Y si digo, he might be at home, estoy hablando de una posibilidad. Él puede estar en la casa, pero puede que esté, puede que no esté. Esa es la diferencia entre can y might, que can es una habilidad, ¿no? Él puede estar en la alberca. He can be at the swimming pool. Puede estar en la alberca. O sea, le doy permiso o él puede porque pues camino y llegó hasta ahí. Pero si digo, he might be at the swimming pool, él puede estar en la alberca, es como una alberca que ¿dónde estará? Ay, pues él puede estar ahí, él puede, pero como posibilidad, como acción, no tan fuerte como el can, que es si puedes, no puedes. Él puede estar, where is he? He can be at the park. Él puede estar en el parque. Pero si digo, where is he? He might be at the park. Él puede estar en el parque. Los dos significan puede. La situación, como te decía, might. Él puede estar en el parque. Puede estar en el parque, puede estar en la alberca, puede estar en todos lados, puede estar. Es una posibilidad. Y can es de permiso, de que él puede ir. He can be in the park. Él puede estar en el parque. No hay quien se lo prohíba. Claro, él puede estar. A ver, sáquenlo. ¿Sale? Esa es la diferencia. Me había aguantado las ganas de explicártela bien en español, pero luego vienen ciertas confusioncitas de que no, pero es que cuando en significados es lo mismo, pero en el contexto ahí es donde cambian las situaciones, como te muestro aquí con el can y el may or might, ¿no? Que como decíamos, may it might, son súper iguales, pero la diferencia es que might tiene menos probabilidad y may tiene más. ¿Sale? To speculate about actions in progress, cuando estás especulando en algunas acciones que están presentes, ¿no? They are in Inisa. They must be having a great time. Ellos deben estar teniendo un buen tiempo. Es como que, strong recommendation. You are always hungry. I think that you might not be eating enough protein. Siempre estás hambriento o hambrienta. Pienso que no deberías estar comiendo, que no podrías estar comiendo demasiada proteína, ¿no? That is going to be. I think that you might not be eating enough protein. Creo que no estás comiendo suficiente proteína. New studies suggest that air pollution may be making people unhappy. Un nuevo estudio sugiere que la contaminación del aire puede estar haciendo a la gente infeliz. Oh, that is in order to speculate something. Es para especular algo. ¿Cómo lo ves hasta ahorita? Cool, right? Okay, my or might. We are going to be having also the last one. This is promise. This is the last one. we are going to be using shall. Shall, yes. It's pretty similar to should. Well, something like that. When we are going to be using shall, we use shall when we give suggestions. Shall I get a pizza for dinner tonight? For offers or volunteering, that bag looks heavy. Shall I carry it for you? ¿Te ayudo? Instructions, when you are going to be asking for or giving. What shall I do with your mail when it arrives? ¿Qué tengo que hacer con tu mail cuando lo envíes? ¿No? Or we are going to be having some promises. You shall be the first person to know. Debería ser la primera persona en saber. Es que cuando te casas, debería ser la primera persona en saber. No te preocupes, espérame. Those are going to be some promises that you are going to be having. And also, when you want to talk about confirmations, statements of fact, you are going to be using shall. I shall meet you there at 7. You are confirming that you are going to be using, doing that shall. Shall I get a pizza for dinner tonight? ¿Tendría una pizza por ahí en la noche? Offers of volunteers, the bag looks heavy. Shall I carry it for you? Debería cargarlo por ti. That is shall. Debería. No, pero para todas estas cuestiones en específico. The modal verb shall is not used much nowadays. That's why we have not been talking about this a lot, because we are not using it a lot. Maybe in the past, yes, people used to use a lot shall, but now it is like a kind of old, maybe. But you can, it may still be found in formal speech and some legal documents, because shall is like more antique, no, like not like old. It is that word that we are not using anymore in English. Maybe a little bit. Yes, it is useful for some legal documents and your specific situations, okay? In formal speech or legal documents, when you are going to be having a speech where you have to speak in a very formal way, you can use shall, okay? Instead of should, shall. And the legal documents, never remember that you are going to find in this word. As you are going to be finding this word shall in informal speech and in some legal documents, that's the reason why it is important that you can know this, okay? For example, the most common use of shall is in everyday English in questions that offer or suggest something specific. For example, shall I help you? Shall we go to the movie theater? It is better to use shall in questions that are in negative or affirmative, because they are like all, if I can say it in that way. But shall as a picture, it's a picture, as a word, as a situation, is going to be used till or days. Shall I eat this? ¿Me debería comer esto? Yes, you shall. Oh my goodness. That is how we are going to be using shall, okay? It may still be found in formal speech and some legal documents, even though it is not used much nowadays. But as I was telling you, the most common use of shall in everyday English, is in questions that offer or suggest. Ooh. For example, originally Sally was used instead of will and first person. Okay. Originally, shall was used instead of will, and first person with I and we when talking about the future. Did you get it? Shall was going originally, as I told you, originally shall was used instead of will on first person with I and with we. When we're talking about future, we are going to be using this shall. If we were using will, but only with first person, I and we, when we are going to be talking about future. That was shall. What do you think about this? Shall. But don't worry, because we are going to be having other kind of examples for you. Okay, shall. So, shall we, shall I? Me voy a mover aquí. Shall we, shall I? Remember, we use shall for suggestions. Shall I is to help someone else. Shall we is for things that we do together, okay? Shall I is to help someone else, or shall we is for things we do together. Shall we go to the beach? Shall I drive us to the beach? Can you see the difference? Shall we go to the beach? Shall I drive us, to the beach? Ooh, shall we go to the beach? We are doing something together. Shall I drive us to the beach? I am helping you to get into that place. Okay. Shall we have coffee? Shall we go to the mall? Shall we play video games? Shall we go to a movie? Shall we have a dinner? Shall we? When we are doing something together, you and me, you and I, all our family or our friends. Shall I make us coffee? Shall I take us to the mall? Shall I turn on the Xbox? Shall I buy us tickets? Shall I cook for us? Remember, should is for asking advices, Shall is when I am asking if I can help you in a specific or in a general way. Okay, shall we have coffee together? Shall I make us coffee? Shall we go to the mall? Shall I take us to the mall? ¿Debería llevarlos al mall? ¿Deberíamos ir al mall? ¿Debería llevarlos? Acuérdate, para preguntas solamente vamos a usar el shall con we y con I. ¿Sale? Y cuando decimos shall we, preguntando con el we, es para cuestiones que hacemos juntitos. ¿Sale? Y shall I es cuando yo estoy para ayudar a alguien más, ofrecer mi ayuda, preguntar si se necesita mi ayuda, preguntar cómo te voy a ayudar, ¿no? Shall we play video games? Shall I turn on the Xbox? ¿Debería apagar el Xbox? Shall we go to the movie? ¿Deberíamos ir a una película? Shall I buy us tickets? ¿Debería comprarnos los tickets? Shall we have dinner? Shall I cook for us? ¿Debería cocinar para nosotros? Cocinaría para nosotros. That's how we are going to be using shall with we and I. So be careful because we can be confused with will and shall. What are going to be some differences that we are going to be having? Okay. Will is used with second and third person from according to British grammar rules. Talking about British context, right? And shall is used with first person from according British grammar. Okay, will for second and third, and shall only for I and we. Will is used with first person from when indicating a strong determination. And shall is used with second and third person form when indicating strong determination. The same, but will is going to be with the first person and shall with the rest of the persons. Will is less polite than shall. Shall is more polite than will, okay? Will is more commonly used than shall, especially in America, but shall is less commonly used. Those are going to be some differences that you can be using will and you can be using shall, but be careful with will and shall when we are going to be using shall. With we and with I, okay? Let me go. With we and with I. When, aquí está, shall was used with will. Principalmente shall era usado más que will. Es por eso que puede venir una confusión con el shall y el will. Sale, pero shall lo utilizamos con la primera persona, I and we. Sale, Aquí acuérdate que es para hacer algunas preguntas en donde podemos estar ofreciendo ayuda o sugerencias. Ok. Shall versus will. How we are going to be using will and shall? Well, for instant decisions, will. Okay, I'll see you on Friday. Remember that will is going to be for instant decisions, quick decisions, okay? For predictions based in what we think, you will learn a lot of with this book. Or promises and offers. Don't worry, I'll go and buy some food for you. Shall is going to be used only in interrogative and first person. Shall we dance? Shall I dance? Us, debería bailarnos. Shall we dance? Para preguntar de una manera formal, ¿bailaríamos? ¿Deberíamos de bailar? Pero cuando vamos a hacer algo juntos, shall I drive us to the party? Debería llevarlos a la fiesta. Ahí es cuando usas el shall I. Cuando tú estás haciendo, preguntando, ofreciendo, hacer algo por alguien más, sale. Pero como pregunta, nunca vayas a decir I shall, no. Shall I, shall we. ¿Habías visto algún verbo modal que solo se utilizara con dos personas? This is the shall. Este es el shall. This is shall. How we are going to be using this. Only interrogative and first person. Shall we dance? Okay. Shall and will. Simple future tense. Shall is going to be for predictions, stating facts about the future, determination and desire. Okay. And we'll remember determination, desire, prediction, stating facts, and about the future. Will is going to be for future. Okay. Second and third person with this. And the first person, I or we. Okay. That's why we were saying, no, predicting is with shall. Hasta aquí. ¿Cómo vas viendo el shall, el will? Easy or difficult? De hecho, ambos son en el futuro. Shall se utilizaba antes para hablar del, en el futuro en lugar de will, ¿no? Pero unos se van a estar utilizando de una manera diferente a la otra. Sobre todo shall se va a utilizar para cuando tú estás preguntando, pero solamente lo vas a poder utilizar con el I y con el we. Y acuérdate que cuando digo shall we, es que estoy preguntando sobre algo que podríamos hacer juntos. ¿Sale? Y shall I es cuando yo estoy comentando o preguntando sobre algo en donde yo pudiera estarte apoyando. Shall we go to the movies? Iríamos al cine. Ok, y el shall lo estás utilizando cuando tú puedes decir, por ejemplo, shall I drive you to the cinema? ¿Debería llevarte al cine? Sale, pero ya es algo que tú estás haciendo por nosotros, por ti, por mí, y el we es cuando estamos haciendo algo juntos. Ambos son futuros. De hecho, déjame te muestro aquí. Sabes que mi silla está muy bajita el día de hoy, no la puedo arreglar. So, aquí, ¿no? First person. So, when to use shall? ¿Cuándo vamos a usar shall? We use shall as the question tag after let's. Let's take the dog for a walk, shall we? Saquemos al perro a caminar. ¿Lo hacemos? Let's start now, shall we? Empecemos ahora. ¿Empezamos? ¿Deberíamos empezar? That is an example of how we can use it. Shall is a modal auxiliary verb, mostly used in the case of first person, primeras personas. And will is also a modal auxiliary verb that can be used in different ways. Tiene mucho más usos el will. Acuérdate cuando estuvimos viendo going to, perdón, going to contra will, cómo se utiliza. Y shall se usa sobre todo con la primera persona y en preguntas. No, shall can be used instead of will with an and with. Especially in more formal English. Aquí está el resumen. Shall is more frequently in British English. En pocas palabras. Me encanta darte mucho material para que tengas refuerzos, resources de dónde sacar información. Mira, shall can be used instead of will with I and we. Will y shall es lo mismo, futurito. ¿Sale? Pero el shall se usa con I y con we, sobre todo cuando te preguntamos, como te comentaba, shall I es cuando yo estoy diciendo si los llevo, los apoyo, los ayudaré, algo que yo voy a hacer por nosotros, por ustedes. Y el shall we es cuando nosotros estamos juntos. Shall we dance? ¿Bailaríamos? Shall I take you to the movie theater? Te llevaría al cine. Shall we dance? ¿Bailaríamos? Así que ándale, ¿bailaríamos juntos? Juntitas. Especially in more formal English. Recordemos que shall es más formal, que es más antiguito, ¿no? Que casi no se usa más el will. Pero shall es súper más usado o más común o frecuente en British English, en inglés británico. ¿Sale? Entonces, cositas. Will y shall son lo mismo, pero will se usa casi con todo el mundo y shall solamente con I y con we para preguntas. ¿Sale? Además, shall, a pesar de que ya es un poquito antiguo, se usa con mucha más frecuencia en lo que es el inglés británico. I shall be there at 10 o'clock. Shall not, shan't. Oh, estaré ahí a las 10 en punto. ¿Sale? Shall not. Ok. We shan't be able to come. No seríamos capaces de venir. Estás hablando, aunque diga a futuro, estás hablando más formal. El tono, el énfasis es mucho más formal ahí, sobre todo en inglés británico. No que no se podía usar en preguntas, no, cuando vamos a preguntar es con we y con I, ¿sale? Igual lo puedes usar en ciertas oraciones afirmativas y negativas, como aquí, I shall be there at 10 o'clock, pero cuando estamos hablando de una manera muy formal, sale, casi no lo vas a escuchar en el inglés americano, pero en el británico sí es común que lo escuches. Shall be there at 10 o'clock. Estaré ahí a las 10 en punto, pero super snuff, ¿no? Bien formal. Shall not es lo mismo que chant. Chant. We shan't be able to come. Oh, no seremos capaces de venir, ¿no? No estoy preguntando, pero estoy usando el shall, que es lo mismo que el will, pero shall es más formal. Sale igualito. No seremos capaces de venir, ¿no? De ir, por ejemplo. Es futuro, pero es más formal. Este shall le da mucha formalidad a las preguntas que realices con we, con shall, I y we. Acuérdate, cuando estoy ofreciendo mi ayuda es algo que yo voy a hacer por ustedes, ¿no? Y we, shall we, es cuando estamos haciendo algo juntos, en pregunta. ¿Quieres dar una oración afirmativa? Está perfecto. Shall be there in 10 o'clock. Pero acuérdate, es más para un contexto un poquito más británico y la formalidad ante todo. We shan't or we shall not be able to come. No seríamos capaces de llegar. No seremos capaces de llegar. ¿Sale? ¿Cómo lo viste? ¿Más o menos? Little by little. Don't worry. Vamos a dejarte descansar hasta ahorita con estos verbos modales. De hecho, ya fue el último show. Déjame saber si lo comprendiste bien, si me di a entender, si no, para apoyarte reforzándolo. De cualquier manera, mañana vamos a reforzar esto y nos vamos con will be going to, will be playing the futuro continuous y empezamos a ver los condicionales. Cualquier duda, cualquier cuestión, por favor, déjamelo saber. Yo sé que es a lo mejor bastante información, pero nos tocaba ver verbos modales. Might, may, must y shall fueron los 4 en los que nos enfocamos el día de hoy. Te voy a dejar ciertos refuerzos para que puedas tomarlos en cuenta y puedas practicar lo que tenemos aquí y tus dudas. Las dudas que salgan me las puedas expresar, please, and I'm going to be helping you. Try to practice, try to watch these videos, and if you don't understand something, please let me know, and I'm going to be helping you, okay? I can record another video in order that that you can be having more examples, more exercises in English and Spanish is okay for me, but I'm worried because I would like to know if you are learning and if I can, if I am being able to teach you this in a good way, in a way where you are learning. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, if you need help trying to do this, let me know and I will be there. Thank you very much for the opportunity and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.